The lights illuminate above the drivers here at the Suzuka circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix. It is lights out and away we go, and Sebastian gets to a slow start. Lewis Hamilton moving into the leads. We go down towards turn 1. Vettel alongside Raikkonen and Rosberg. There could be a bit of contact, and there is. Vettel's gone wide, almost into a spin at turn 1. Box at the end of his lap for another set of option tyres. Broken 2 legs on turn 1. We hit the back of Lewis Hamilton. We're going to the 130. Hamilton just making me on Raikkonen for second. Vettel's going to try and go around both and go into the casino triangle. Is he going to pull him off round the outside? He's taking it. He's taking the position round the outside. Sebastian Vettel going round the outside though. Lewis Hamilton, he's taken second position. Going into the pit lane is Nico Rosberg now, and I think Lewis Hamilton's going to take the lead of the race, and I think Lewis Hamilton might even win it here, and that's going to help Sebastian in the championship, as it means that Rosberg won't gain as much points on Seb in the World Championship. But there you see Lewis Hamilton going down the pit straight, taking the lead of the Grand Prix. As here is Sebastian Vettel finishing in 4th position. He's disappointed with that, I think. He knows he could have done better.
Fascinating Sochi Autodrome in Russia for what is expected to be a compelling race weekend. Well, it all begins today with practice. This fascinating Hermann Tilke designed track has a number of tight corners and a 180-degree bend. It provides the team with a range of driving challenges. It's an impressive track, certainly from a technical point of view, but we can't call it a classic just yet.
Well, drivers certainly prefer the classic tracks, but there's no denying it's a state-of-the-art circuit, which is going to be a new challenge for the drivers. It's quite technical in places, with 12 right-handers and 6 left-hand corners, and the drivers will need to get up to speed quickly to maximise their chances here.
Today will have even more significance for Daniel Kvyat, getting to drive in front of his home crowd here in Russia.
Absolutely, and what an impressive young talent he is. In the drivers' press conference this weekend, he was talking about what pride he has driving here, and I'm sure he'll be especially keen to get one of his best results of the season.
Hey, what's up? It is Dan, or DMath96 here, and welcome back to Sebastian's return to glory here in Sochi for the Russian Grand Prix. And obviously with only 5 rounds to go, Sebastian Vettel leads Nico Rosberg by 20 points in the Drivers' Championship. And after the Japanese Grand Prix, where Sebastian finished 4th, Nico Rosberg closed that gap from, I think it was 26 to 20 points in the championship. Here is Sebastian in Russia, hoping for a much better weekend. Obviously he doesn't really know how this track is going to work out, since he's only done 1 race around it before in 2014 and it didn't go well, of course, in the Red Bull. He's in a much better car this weekend, so maybe he could try and challenge for the pole or the win. But before we get on the race, let's go into the qualifying report. Sochi hosts its 2nd Russian Grand Prix in Formula 1. Lewis Hamilton won the race with ease last year, but will a different driver make it to the top step of the podium for 2015? Once again lining up at the back row of the grid was Manor, with Will Stevens beating teammate Roberto Merri. The high-speed Sochi Autodrome circuit was a complete struggle for McLaren, as they line up just ahead of the 2 Manor cars. It was a tough session for Force India, with Hulkenberg 13th and Perez 15th. Marcus Ericsson starts 12th for the 2nd consecutive race, as teammate Nasser couldn't get out of Q1 and starts 16th. It was mixed feelings at Toro Rosso, with Max Verstappen just missing out on Q3 in 11th, but he was ahead of teammate Sainz in 14th. The 2 Lotus drivers led a 2x2 formation at the back of the top 10, with Romain Grosjean beating teammate Maldonado to 9th. Directly ahead were the 2 Red Bulls, with Ricciardo 7th, almost a 10th clear of teammate Kvyat. And just ahead of the Red Bulls were the 2 Williams cars, with Bottas just beating Massa to 5th. The top 4 is once again an interesting story, with Mercedes not on pole. However, Lewis Hamilton lies only 3 tenths off the pole sitter. That will be taken yet again by Sebastian Vettel, continuing Ferrari's qualifying form with their 5th straight pole. Seb will be looking to get one back over rival Rosberg after failing to make the podium in Japan.
Welcome to the eye-catching Russian Grand Prix circuit of Sochi for today's Formula 1 race. This Hermann Tilke track will provide drivers with a stunning backdrop of the 2014 Winter Olympic Park. But they'll be more interested in their battles out on track. A strong qualifying performance from Sebastian Vettel yesterday sees him start today's race on pole. He should be feeling really positive about his chances of winning here, shouldn't he?
It really was a great performance from him yesterday, and I think he'll be feeling very confident that he can push on and win today's race. Unless he has car trouble or a bit of bad luck, he should be untouchable.
It was a good win last time out for Lewis Hamilton, who will still be feeling buoyant going into today's race. He knows he's got the beating of the rest of the field as long as he doesn't hit any reliability issues with his Mercedes.
Well, Lewis can beat anyone on his day. His pace has been second to none at times. He just has a knack of finding those extra tenths which others can't. I'm expecting him to be particularly strong at the end of the stints today.
So another pole position for Sebastian Vettel, his 6th of the season. There you see the strategy on the screen. It looks like he's going to be doing a 1-stop, but it depends on the tyre really. It could be a 2-stop strategy, we never really know. But here he is on the grid, with the lights illuminates here at the Sochi Autodrome for the Russian Grand Prix. It is lights out and away we go, and Sebastian getting a lot of wheel spin off the start, and that seems to happen for him in these races. And you see Lewis Hamilton's already taken the lead of the Grand Prix, but there's a long run down towards turn 1, so anything can happen. Kimi Raikkonen's also alongside his teammate for Sebastian. He's on the slipstream going into the first proper corner, and he takes the lead of the Grand Prix back off Lewis Hamilton. And now he's got to try and hold on to this until the end of the race to try and gain more points on Nico Rosberg in the championship. And Rosberg's had a disappointing start. As you can see, Kimi Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton battling it out for 2nd position. We're going to go and have a look at an onboard shot of them in a minute, and they're swapping positions like mad at the minute. We're going to the right-hander, but Sebastian now has a 1-second lead over Lewis Hamilton. So a great start for Vettel. He lost his position quite early on, but he has managed to gain that back off Lewis Hamilton. As you see, him and Raikkonen alongside the long left-hander, and Raikkonen and Hamilton swapping positions like mental. And it looks like Raikkonen's going to get the inside line, but no, Hamilton holds on around the outside, but Raikkonen on the inside going into this right-hander, but no, Hamilton will hold on. Hamilton is in 2nd position with Kimi Raikkonen in 3rd. Now skipping on to lap 3 of the Grand Prix, and as you see, Sebastian Vettel has just started his 4th lap, I meant to say, and he did set the fast lap. Lewis Hamilton's beaten that, but he is pulling away from the rest of the field. He is in control of this race, 3 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton in 2nd position, and it looks like this could be a good race for Sebastian. But on to lap 6 now. The times are dropping a little bit than before, and the tyres are going off. Hamilton is slowly catching up, so it really seems that Sebastian is in control of this race on lap 6 of the Grand Prix. I'm sorry there's not really much action to show you. As we move on to lap 9, the tyres are really starting to go off now. Sebastian, as you can see, is struggling. Lewis Hamilton has actually managed to close the 3-second lead that Sebastian has in previous 5 laps, and Sebastian going very wide at the exit of that corner. Hamilton actually trying to make a move for the lead. Vettel's somehow managing to defend there from the Mercedes driver, but he definitely will have to go into the pits this lap, and I don't think he's going to make a 1-stop strategy work. And as you can see, the tyre wear really starting to show. Sebastian goes very wide on the entrance of the pits. He goes into the pits now to start his first pit stop of the race, and it looks like he's going to have to switch to a 2-stop strategy. He just couldn't hold on with those tyres. Now you see moving on to the prime tyres, but this could actually work better than what the other teams have done. I think Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg are trying to do 1-stops. I honestly have no idea, but Sebastian exits the pits now. I think he's going to rejoin I think it's in the mid-pack, in the midfield somewhere. There you can see it's one of the Red Bulls. It's Daniel Ricciardo going down the straight, and he's going to be rejoining in at 6th position behind the Red Bull. I think in between both Red Bulls actually, going very wide, of course, on cold tyres at turn 1 or turn 2, I think. Obviously just missing his braking point, not what he wants to do. As we move on now to the end of lap 10, there he is, still behind Daniel Ricciardo, hitting the wall slightly, thankfully suffering no damage as he goes into the penultimate corner. But all over the back of Daniel Ricciardo. He has been quicker than Ricciardo, who's on the softer tyres, but obviously Ricciardo's been out longer on those soft tyres, and I think the tyre wear has really come into play for the Australian Red Bull driver. Sebastian Vettel moves into 5th position on lap 11 of the Grand Prix. So we move on to lap 12 now. He has caught up to Felipe Massa in the Williams. I believe he's also yet to stop. I think everyone ahead of Vettel is yet to stop. Yeah, Massa's definitely yet to stop on the option tyres still. But we go into the left-hander now, and Sebastian's going to try and make a move around the outside of Felipe Massa. And what a move that was! What a move! Sebastian Vettel moves into 4th position. Quite an easy move on Massa, but he managed to make it stick perfectly. As we have a look at the replay now, there you see around the outside of Felipe Massa, and a simple move for Sebastian Vettel, moving him into 4th position. A brilliant move as well. But now can he make the charge to the top 3? And Lewis Hamilton, as you can see on the graphic, is now down in 4th position, so it must mean he has pitted, and that is Rosberg and Raikkonen in the pits as well. And Sebastian Vettel passes the pit lane and takes lead off Nico Rosberg. Lewis Hamilton takes 2nd of Nico Rosberg, so it's not looking good in terms of the championship for the German. But on to lap 16 now, and Sebastian is now 5 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas, interestingly, in third position. So this could be a good result for the Williams driver. As you can see on lap 20, Rosberg's taken back third position. Bottas has dropped down to 6th, and he's actually done a 2-stop. And everyone else looks like they're going to be doing a 1-stop this race, but I think Sebastian, the tyres won't last long for him. It just doesn't seem that Sebastian has managed his tyres better than his rivals behind him, and it looks like that he will be pitting at the end of this lap, and I think he'll be going to the option set of tyres. Yes, he will be entering the pits for this lap, so this is very crucial. Could this be a poor decision for Sebastian to pit on this lap for another set of the option tyres? But the primes have been going off, and I don't think that he would have lasted the rest of the race on these prime tyres, especially pitting very early for these tyres early on in the Grand Prix. And it looks like he will drop down to 4th position behind the two Mercedes and his teammate of Kimi Raikkonen. So Sebastian's really going to have to put the hammer down now if he wants any chance of winning this Grand Prix, and more importantly, gaining points on his championship rival Nico Rosberg as he exits the pit lane now. Kimi Raikkonen just drives past into 3rd position, and he's got about 6 laps to go to catch up and pass the 3 drivers ahead of him to win this Grand Prix, and it looks like he could do it as he's just about to start lap 22. And there is definitely a difference. He is catching up to Kimi Raikkonen, and he is very close now, 2.1 seconds, and it looks like he could attempt to move if he keeps catching up this lap. As I have a look now, still on lap 22, and he's managed to catch up 2 seconds in nearly 2 sectors onto his teammate Raikkonen. He has the DRS on his Finnish teammate, going down the straight now, moving to the inside line, and his teammate on the prime tyres and slightly warm prime tyres as well just couldn't really fight to that, and Sebastian Vettel moves into a podium position now in 3rd position. Nico Rosberg's not far up the road as well, and obviously Lewis Hamilton's quite a long way ahead, but we don't know yet if this has been a poor decision for Sebastian Vettel to make a last minute pit stop for the option tyres. And as we move on now, Nico Rosberg in 2nd position, he's caught right up to the back of his championship rivals. They're about to start lap 24, and he will have a DRS on his championship rival Rosberg down the straight now. Is he going to make a move? He's Rosberg just ahead. He's got the DRS, and Rosberg putting no fight up to his championship rival, and Vettel moves into 2nd position now as he laps the back marker of Will Stevens. He's not far behind Lewis Hamilton now, and with only 4 laps remaining, could Sebastian push and catch up to Lewis Hamilton and take the lead of this Grand Prix? He's only 4 seconds behind. It looks impossible, but can he do it? So it's taken until the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix for Sebastian Vettel to catch up to Lewis Hamilton, and we're just about to start the final lap, and he's all over the back of a Mercedes driver into the penultimate corner. Could Sebastian try and make a move? He's having a look at the inside into the final corner. Hamilton goes slightly wide, and Vettel takes the lead just before the final lap of the Grand Prix. What a move, and what a place to make that move stick as well on Lewis Hamilton. Having a look at the replay now, he caught up to the back of him quite quickly on the faster tyres as well into the final corner, making that move stick perfectly and taking the lead of the Grand Prix at a very important part of the track. And on the final lap of the Grand Prix, I think it's for the 3rd time this season pretty much, the first place has been decided on the last lap. Sebastian exits the final corner and takes the victory here in Russia, his 6th win of the season. So the race not being that exciting at the start, definitely got exciting after Sebastian's final pit stop, and his charge for the field season take his 6th victory of the season and his 1st here in Sochi. Lewis Hamilton unlucky to take 2nd position. He could have won that race if it wasn't for the pass of the final lap of the Grand Prix pretty much, as Nico Rosberg takes 3rd ahead of Kimi Raikkonen in 4th and Valtteri Bottas 5th. Pastor Maldonado and Felipe Nasser rounding out the top 10 behind the 2 Red Bulls and the Williams drivers. But now moving on to the Drivers' Championship, no real impact has been made, but Sebastian has now extended the gap to 10 points ahead of Nico Rosberg in 2nd. The gap is now 30 points, as Lewis Hamilton stays in 3rd position, Kimi Raikkonen in 4th, only a couple of points ahead of Valtteri Bottas, and Daniel Ricciardo still hanging on to 6th. The only change has been Danny Kvyat's moving ahead of Max Verstappen for 8th position. But now to the Constructors' Championship, it's Mercedes who now leads still, but Ferrari closing the gap to 12 points this time. Williams most likely to secure 3rd, Red Bull most likely to secure 4th, and a big battle for 5th here between Toro Rosso, Lotus and McLaren and Sauber. But I hope you have enjoyed this race. It's been an okay one, but now it's time to move on to the podium. So with 4 rounds remaining in this World Championship, and the gap between the top 2, 30 points, what can Nico do at Austin for the US Grand Prix next time out? We'll find out very soon. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you have, please leave a like, comment down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll see you guys for the US Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas next time out. And until next time guys, it's been DMath96. I'll catch you guys later.